I have a problem with believing everything is a conspiracy theory, and here's why. The idea that we have an event happen to us and we instantly believe that some sort of higher power or some sort of institution did it on purpose is something that is more than likely somewhat true. The thing is that if we believe that we have no actual effect on what the world around us, that is even worse than believing some sort of power is trying to persuade us in some way. When we start saying that someone, some nation, some institution is doing these things on purpose, we start to believe that our best course of action is to not react at all. And then it becomes a cycle of us being victims to whatever they want to do. Now, it is important to look at these things and say, is someone actually doing this on purpose? Is someone trying to get us to react in a certain way? But to do nothing or to have the idea that we're helpless to it is, one, the most likely consequence of instantly believing these things, and two, not going to help us win in the long term. If we truly want something to come better of a negative event, of something that we assume a conspiracy theory for, then we have to believe that we ourselves, us as individuals, are capable of change for whatever happened. We have to believe that we are able to do something about what happened. Even if that isn't necessarily true because of the scale or the specifics of what happened, we have to believe that our effort into whatever we put into it will cause a snowball effect and help us in the future. So all I'm really trying to say is just be careful of the idea that just because something happened and it may seem like third parties are involved, it doesn't mean that we are completely helpless to whatever it is. We have power. We are able to do things even if the conspiracy theories are true. A great example of this is how everyone now believes that the CIA was the sole perpetrator of a lot of revolutions throughout history for the past 100 years. And while that is necessarily true, the CIA was involved, they weren't the core only reason of why it happened. They most likely played their hand into it simply because they had something to gain themselves, of course, but they were not the ones that only did it. And that's the way a lot of people are starting to think. They think, oh, this third world country, oh, this South American country, oh, this Middle Eastern country, oh, they were overthrown because of the CIA. There was no other principles to it. There was nothing else involved. It was simply just because the CIA, some sort of business, wanted to topple the regime. And like I said, that isn't not true, but it isn't the only factor, and we have to keep that in mind. For some of the South American revolutions, when the CIA says they were involved or they planned it, because they self-admit to these things to show power, it's not even true. They had a couple guys in there that were just aware of the situation going on, and they let it occur. They were helpful bystanders by not doing anything. They helped by not doing anything and letting whatever was happening happen. They were just observers. And then the CIA comes out and they tell you, oh, we did this. Why do they tell you that? Because they want you to have this conspiracy theory mindset where you say, oh, the CIA did it. Bro, you got to be scared of the CIA because they overthrew the government there on purpose. And they were the only ones that wanted it. Everyone else didn't do anything involved with it. And they kind of laugh at you because now you think that they have so much more power over you than they actually do. That's really the only point I'm trying to make. It's pretty simple, honestly. I think I'm just saying it in multiple different ways now. So let me know what you think. That's really it, dude. All right, comment.